Testing, 1, 2, testing, 1, 2, testing. Okay, yeah, it has been a while. Yeah, run into a bit of Baldur's Gate 3 and a bit of Armored Core 6. And yeah, although I could, I haven't finished Armored Core 6. I could definitely play that on stream maybe. But anyway, let's get back into this. Where
continue. Load game, load. Load slot 1, Sunday, July.
Jeez, July. It's almost October. Alright, what's going on here? I think we're trying to get out of here.
Talk about ducks.
Yeah, let's talk about ducks.
What is wrong with you? Why the hell would you talk about that? Why even think that? Just, ugh, you're too stupid sometimes. Go back and think of something better. Talk about the Empire. You can't help him if he won't talk to you. However, you find that people are generally more open about themselves if another person opens up to them first. An equal exchange of personal thoughts, as it were. You think back to your earlier discussions. Amicia seemed to have some opinions of the Empire, and alluded to earlier how the Empire may have been hurting him. However, he seemed timid in voicing these opinions. That might be the key to all this, the source of Amicia's anxieties and worries. If you can get him to talk about that with no filter, he might be able to accept that the Empire does not have his best interest in mind. And if he realizes that, he should be more willing to work with you, maybe even leave with you. Maybe if you tell him, plainly, your opinions on the Empire, he would feel comfortable speaking freely around you. At the very least, you know he isn't pro-Empire enough to turn you in for anything you might say at the drop of a hat, so you should be fairly safe with being able to just let it all out. And my God, have you been holding in a lot of thoughts on the Empire? You are more thankful than ever for your private discussions with Theseus, who has given you a more than comprehensive view on her government's dealings and transgressions. So you start talking. You tell Amicia the faults in the Empire's principles, its policies for the treatment of its citizens, the asinine rules for the color hierarchy. Any bullshit you can think of from the top of your head, really. And with Alternia, there is plenty of bullshit. Amicia doesn't react. He keeps staring at the pond, not acknowledging what you're saying. That's okay. You probably still haven't hit the right nerve with Amicia. You need to get him to react. You keep going, starting to lecture on your thoughts on individual troll rights. You have been talking for way too long now. Your throat is feeling sore, and yet you still haven't exhausted your mental bone pile labeled shitty things the Empire has done and still is doing. There has still been no reaction from Amicia. He's not even looking at you, still staring out at the pond. Maybe you still need to keep going, and soon he'll have to react to what you're saying. You just have to be patient and maybe get a glass of water. Suddenly Amicia startles, and looks up to the sky in a panic.
Oh shit, is that the sun?
You look up. Orange and yellow are starting to swallow the prominent purple of the Alternian night sky. And that's when you realize that you haven't felt a breeze in a while. There is a warmth permeating the area now, quickly growing from pleasant to uncomfortable. You feel a sinking feeling in your stomach as sweat starts to bead on your brow.
Quick, back to my hive!
Before you know it, Amicia is up and out of there, sprinting back the way you came. You get up, successfully not slipping on the long grass, and start running after him. It's getting brighter out. You feel your skin blister as the rays start to hit you, the tiny hairs along your skin being scorched away as the oppressive heat settles over the planet like a smothering blanket. Breathing gets harder, the air as thick as cotton. Your vision blurs, eyes tearing as they try in vain to keep your eyeballs from being cooked inside your skull. You manage to stay on your feet, not collapsing from heat exhaustion yet, but you're starting to move slower, limbs feeling heavier with each step. Thankfully, you two didn't travel far from the hive. If you keep moving, you should be able to make it before things get too bad. One thing you do know now, is that you will never, ever complain about it being too hot out ever again. This is true heat.
Oh, okay.
The council will see you now. Try again. 1. Your cerulean ranked legs come in handy. You're just able to see the back of Amnesia as he bolts out of his hive and out into the woodlands behind his hive. Thankfully, there is a path that you can follow, so even as you lose sight of him you are able to run full speed without fear of tripping on a root and having a plant eat you or something. The path ends and you are at a clearing. And then you see Amnesia. 1. He is sitting by the edge of the pond, expression pensive as he stares out across the crystal smooth top of the water. You tread over carefully to them, keeping a few yards distance from him. You suspect that he would prefer to have some space. He is sitting by... Selected. He is sitting by the edge of the pond, expression pensive. He is sitting by the... Amnesia does not acknowledge you. A few minutes pass and you sit down, your legs and butt getting slightly moist from the cold grass and dirt. You feel that you're close to something big here. You just have to get him to open up a little bit more, and you'll be able to really reach him. Talk about ducks. What is wrong with you? Why the hell would you talk? Can he shut up for 2 seconds and really think? You dig deep, dust off all the crags and creaks in your brain, and come up with nothing. Absolutely nothing. You call out for ideas in your mind, and nothing echoes back from the canyon of your conscience. Your brain is an ashen field where nothing fruitful grows. You got squat. And so you sit, silent, completely stupid. Useless. Is this what giving up feels like?
I apologize. I shouldn't have run off like that. It was weird. Even for me.
This is a side you have not seen from Amnesia before. Quiet, reserved. You patiently wait for him to continue.
It's nice of you to chase after me, though. I haven't had someone chase after me here for a long time. I used to have a friend, a higher blood. Her name was Chahat.
Yeah, what exactly happened to her? And that should be capitalized. Yeah, that was one of my more favorite characters from the old thing. But,
You knew her too, right?
Yes, you did. She was one of your friends. She took you to church.
She was one of mine too. As an artist, you don't get too many of those. You tend to work alone. I needed paint and she helped me get some. Then we became friends. And she was brilliant. All the colors she would bring me, hues I've never seen before. The warmth that would seep into the paper. It was really something special, what we could create together. She was the one who pushed me to accept the position with Torona. Said I would finally be putting my true talents on display. See the praise I deserve while I still could. She even helped me make a few paintings for the first articles I worked on. Those are the ones you see on the walls in my hive. They're not just mine, they're hers too.
Amnesia's expression then takes on such a look of despondence.
But she's gone now, and she's never coming back. She couldn't, even if she wanted to. One day, I won't be able to come back either. Indigos are secluded in their own dwellings when ascended, perfectly silent to allow us to concentrate on nothing but our work.
You're about to interrupt that. You don't think that's strictly true, but then you think about Galek and the way he pushed almost everyone away from him. The way his paranoia ate him up inside. You don't say anything.
When I was younger, it sounded like paradise. But now I think I understand what the lower bloods mean when there's a difference between being alone and loneliness.
You see tears start to prick Amnesia's eyes, and their voice takes on a slight wobble.
And I never even got to tell her who I really am. And that just hurts, having the one person who cared about me leave. and only then to find the parts of me that were missing. I couldn't tell her any of it. I couldn't tell you either. You were both gone.
What should I say? Don't want to get down on kind of the amateurish acting, but you know they're putting a honest effort in. So okay, I'll leave it at that.
Amicia wipes his eyes, looking away from you. You're still not sure what to say. You feel like you're just scratching the surface of Amicia. There's so much to explore with this person, but you don't have the time to discover all that. There has never been time for you to truly learn who these trolls you call your friends are. Even now, when you are at your most powerless, your deadline in a Schrodinger's box, both endless and finite at once, you are allowed only to get a glimpse of what makes these characters individuals. But that's okay. You don't have to know everything about a person to have you decide to befriend them. That's one of the best things about friendship. The opportunity to learn more about someone and for them to learn more about you. The ability to create a bond that keeps you grounded and reminds you what life is worth living for. And right now, Amicia really needs a friend. It's about time you start acting like one. You're sorry for having left. You hadn't meant to. The more you see, the more you learn just how awful things have gotten in your absence. You never meant to make any of your friends feel like you abandoned them. But you don't get to decide how people feel, do you? You want to make things right. You're here now. You'll need to leave again to go find your other friends, but you'll never be gone like you were before. You want Amicia to be able to trust you again, and you're going to do everything you can to show him that that trust is well placed. But Amicia needs to decide that you are worth another chance. Is he willing to do that? Give you the benefit of the doubt, despite all the mistakes you've made, and will probably continue to make? Is he willing to have someone care about him again? Amicia is quiet for a long moment before he speaks again.
Have you met her yet? On your journey back here, Chahat?
No, not yet. But you hope to soon. You have a lot of friends you want to try to save.
If you see her, can you invite her to come to this new timeline? I'd like it if she could come. I'd like to see her again there. I have some things I need to tell her.
You will try. You can't guarantee anything. But you will try, and you will try your absolute best.
You are weird and have a lot that is strange about you. But you always try your best. I've always appreciated that, even if it's nonsensical at times. I suppose that's a trait you only find in real friends.
You feel your heart swell from his words. Yes, you say. You agree with him on that. Amicia smiles. Then he stands up, brushes the grass off his pants. He extends a hand for you to take.
Let's head back to the office. I have an idea that could solve your problems here.
The two of you travel back to the office, meeting back up with Dorona.
So this is a new set of photos you want to use?
That's right. The last focus group study you conducted showed that buildings were a bit of a snooze fest for our audience. These new photos are much more in line with what they like and should perform well on our channels.
They're a bit on the abstract side from what we usually publish. You completely got rid of the building and address and replaced it with a scene of fog and fire and presumably puddles of blood. The glowing eyes are a nice touch, though.
Exactly. Playing up the mystery should entice the readers to like and share the article. Not to mention it looks super badass.
But is it too vague? They'll love the suggestive violence that took place, but there really isn't a story.
Do me a favor and stop questioning my artistic decisions. I've already rejected the previous set of proofs, and if I say that this is better, then it has to be better. Even our alien friend here agrees with me.
Fine. I'll make sure that the acceptance went through and that we're all good to go for tomorrow night. If the ratings go down because of this, I'm putting you on copy editing.
Aw, you would be willing to replace the Wiggler that usually does that for you? That's so sweet.
Yeah, you are impossible sometimes. But at least these will go with the theme of the post. And it's the least I can do for you, alien friend.
She addresses you directly now. You stand up straighter.
I'm sorry I won't be leaving with you. I still have too much I want to do here. But I'll do as we discussed. Just don't shit on what I'm doing here anymore, okay?
A nasty feeling shoots through you, but you nod. It always hurts when you know you're leaving someone behind.
Good luck with what you're doing. I mean it. Really. Now, I have to go get these set up if we're going to post on time tomorrow. So, if you will all excuse me for a moment.
As Tirona heads over to her computer stand, Amicia comes up to you. 1.
Hey, can I talk to you one-on-one?
Amicia.
This one takes care of.
Amicia, Barber.
Ooh, cool.
Selected. Amicia.
This new direction
Hey,
is going to
can I
be
talk to
so
you?
good for the long term.
Amicia. Selected. Amicia. Hey, oh, of course. What's up?
Well, now that your big bad problem is out of the way and I've agreed to work along with you, what happens now? How does this all, work?
Well, it's all really too complicated to explain simply. There's so much going on, too much for you to explain to him right now. And you also don't really have an organized plan either. You're kinda just winging it?
Winging it?
Yeah, you can't really give an exact time and place to when you'll be able to bring Amicia over to the new timeline. All you know is that it should be soon, and that Amicia should be packed and ready to leave at a moment's notice.
You know, you are in way less control of this than I thought you were when you explained it to us at the beginning. I love it. You're really letting inspiration take the wheel here.
God, you wish you weren't. You wish you were following some grand plan, something that let you know that all your hard work was leading you to the best possible outcome you could ever achieve in all these trials and tribulations, but you're not. You can't stop wondering how much you've lost that you could have saved if you were just better, you guess.
Oh, like bleed to the edge.
What?
It's a printer's turn. Bleed is a cutoff line where the paper is cut. Any work beyond that line doesn't make it to the final page. It's literally cut off, gone forever. Except inside your own head, where it was all nice and perfect. It's a necessary evil. If you don't cut some off, your work might not cover the whole page, and you might publish something that doesn't look right and does all your hard work a disservice. Even with all the pieces there, you don't get the whole picture. So I always have to have my artwork, which I spend hours and hours on, go over the bleed and get partially cut off. I lose part of it every time, which sucks, but I save the rest of the picture. Sometimes you can only save so much. Am I making sense?
Wow, yeah, actually. You do get it? Thanks.
Though, get me to this new timeline. I'm ascending soon, and now that Tirona knows that I'm not as pro-Empire as she thought, I don't know how long she'll keep pretending to call the Jones on me before she actually grows some globes and actually does it. Or fire me, which would be really hilarious if I'm being honest.
You'll get him out of here. You promise. You just have to figure out your next steps from here, and then you can keep this personal mission of yours rolling.
Well, it's not what I want to hear, but you're more than welcome to stay at my place for the time being. I've got lots of spare rooms for you to choose from.
Well, that's very generous of him. You'll have to take Amicia up on that offer.
Great, and one last thing. Not a deal breaker for me, but please try to find Chahut.
Will do.
I would really like to talk to her again if I could. I don't know if she'd want to see me or even remember me. Who knows what the hell happens to the minds of ascended purples. But still, I'm willing to take the risk. You know?
Of course. As a friend, you know what it means to not want to give up on someone. You can't promise anything though. You have no idea where your travels will take you. But if the opportunity arises, and you're not immediately killed on the spot, then why not? You'll give it a try and let Amicia know how it went.
You've certainly proven to me that friends are willing to take risks for each other. even nonsensical ones. I'm glad to be making this one with you.
You smile, and feel a warmth bloom in your chest. You may not have gotten everything you wanted from tonight, but you think you can find a way to be satisfied with what you were able to get. At the very least, you feel the path you chose didn't lead you into a dead end. You only see more opportunities ahead to move forward from here. For a couple more hours, you wander deeper and deeper into the city. You never really got a chance to ask Tirona anything more about where your other friends might be. You actually stopped by the building that was in Amesia's photos, hoping to find someone who might know Malek. But it looked like whoever was there had cleared out pretty recently. It doesn't make sense to you, but maybe they just moved locations by sheer coincidence. It floods you with a sense of relief. Maybe the rebels aren't doing that badly here on Alternia. But now you're not really sure where you're supposed to go from here. It feels like it's been ages since you returned to Alternia, but now it seems like you're hitting your first real dead end. The only thing left you've got is what you fell back on so many times on your first trip to Alternia: endless, aimless wandering. Not a great strategy, but at this point it's all you've got. And so you wander deeper and deeper into the city, and you find yourself thinking of a maze. Volume 8, Bleed to the Edge. Severed their professional relationship. Writing: Christine Gaba. Jonah Uriley, additional dialogue. Voice cast: Tex, Tirona. The Dandy Man, Amesia. Jonah Uriley, number 6, security guard, Tioy Mockler. Sprite artists: P. Pamda, Amesia, Tirona. Background artists: Do you want to save your progress so far? Yes. Save slot. Save slot 2. Save. Save.
That one seemed
Save.
like a slog, but
Close menu. Miss Barr's journey will continue in Volume 9, A Finely Machined Revolution.
onward.
Continue to the next volume. This route contains content warnings for depiction and discussion of state/institutional violence, depiction of firearms, depiction of blood, depiction and discussion of death, discussion of mass murder, discussion of child death. Route has action sequences, contains flashing lights. Player discretion is advised.
Sounds like a party. Let's go.
13. You spend the day uncomfortably crammed into a drain pipe until the sun goes down enough for it to be safe to travel again. Once more, it's nighttime, and you're still wandering the streets of Everdim. The neon wash settles over you in a haze that never leaves your vision, even when you close your eyes. You spend.
Okay.
Selected. You spend the day uncomfortably crammed into a drain pipe until the sun goes down enough for it to be safe to travel again. Once more, it's nighttime, and you're still wandering the streets.
Whatever per stream. Ooh.
Select. You spend the day uncomfortably crammed into a drain pipe until the sun goes down enough for. You spend the day uncomfortably crammed into a drain pipe until the sun goes down enough for it to be safe to travel again. 1. You spend the day uncomfortably crammed into a drain pipe until the sun goes down enough for it to be safe to travel again. Once more, it's nighttime, and you're still wandering the streets of Everdim. The neon wash settles over you in a haze that never leaves your vision, even when you close your eyes. 2. Triza 1 at Snake Bites. 1 at Snake Bites. Selected. You spend the day uncomfortably crammed. You spend the day uncomfortably crammed into a drain pipe until the sun goes down enough for it to be safe to travel again. Selected. You spend the day uncomfortably crammed into a drain pipe until the sun goes down enough for it to be safe to travel again. Once more, it's nighttime. Select, you spend the day uncomfortably crammed into a drain pipe until the sun goes down enough for it to be safe. Selected. You spend the day uncomfortable. The last time you were on Alternia, you don't remember being in a city that felt so big. The little suburb of Outglut was nothing by comparison. The weird thing is that even in the city, you see abandoned buildings all over the place, a constant reminder that everyone has a couple decades worth of life before they end up sent off-world. Even if there are those rare exceptions, mostly through circumstance or luck, everyone has the same fate in the end. You can't just leave them here to deal with it, they deserve the best chance they can get to fight against the Empire. You've got the feeling that the Empire is probably looking for you too. In spite of, or maybe because of, your best efforts, you've managed to poke your non-existent nose into all kinds of new things. And now, you feel like you're at an impasse. It's been days, and you're not any closer to understanding how to get any of your powers back. Instead, you're just drifting from encounter to encounter, stumbling in and out of situations of varying degrees of lethality. It's not really all that different from how you used to do things when you first came to Alternia, or on Earth, for that matter. You can't help but wonder about those friends back on Earth, and whether or not you'll ever be able to see them again. The noise of all these thoughts is almost enough that you don't notice the van that's been following you for the past 3 blocks. You quickly jump around a corner and onto a cross street, only to find yourself boxed in by a narrow line of parked scuttle buggies. Behind you, you hear the sound of tires squealing.
Whoops.
The council will see you now. Okay, this is getting ridiculous. Why the fuck is it so hard to change things? Why is it so hard to convince people that things should be different? Muse of Light, it is what it is, sometimes you can't change shit. No. That's not true, your whole deal is change, bringing people together and making friends and making the world a better place. And yeah, you had a lot to work on as far as making that happen, but you're finally starting to get it. So why is it still so hard? Made of hope, because you're not omnipotent. You don't get to control everything. Sylph of space, exactly, sometimes things are the end result of a course of events that was set into motion long before you even showed up. Sylph of space, you shouldn't be so hard on yourself for not being able to control things that were never yours to control in the first place. But how do you help your friends? Muse of Light, you know the answer to this already. Change what you can, learn to live with everything else. Muse of Light, only choice you've got sometimes. You quickly jump around a corner and onto a cross street, only to find yourself boxed in by a narrow line of parked scuttle buggies. Behind you, you hear the sound of tires squealing.
Oh crap, okay, we want the wrong.
The council. Try. You quickly jump around a corner. Behind you, the van screeches to a stop a few yards ahead and the driver's side door opens. You're ready for anything. Well, okay, ready to run screaming away from the Imperial snatch and grab team that's here for you now, apparently. Wait a minute.
Oh, holy shit! It's you!
Malak. The Cerulean's face breaks out into a massive grin as he rushes toward you. Before you know what's happening, Malak has you in his arms and is squeezing you into a surprisingly tight hug.
I missed you! Thought I was never gonna see you again! This is amazing! I saw you walking and I thought, wow, maybe it's them, but I wasn't sure.
Yep, that's you, there. Actually you weren't super clear what you were to Malak.
Well, I mean, we could talk about that if you want. See where this goes.
Or, maybe, perhaps, maybe now isn't the best time. For one thing, you're still a little bit freaked out that he almost hit you with his, admittedly very cool looking, van. Malak lets you go and steps back, blushing.
Oh, shit, yeah, sorry about that. sometimes it's tricky to gauge distance, you know?
He laughs nervously and grins.
But hey, you're here now, so actually...
Malik shuffles his feet.
I don't want to sound weird about this, but do you want to come back with me? Like, to my place? Fuck! I mean, not like that. Not if you don't want to, anyway.
Save slot 3. Close. Go with him. You know what? Yeah, why the hell not? You tell Malik that you'd be delighted to check out his cool van and go to an unspecified location with him. Okay, that all sounds pretty bad, but you're an adult and you can make your own decisions.
Cool! Well, hop on in. It's a little bit of a drive.
You slide into the back of the van, which is surprisingly spacious. Malik hops in after you, grinning. 1.
Damn, feels like forever since I saw you last. Oh, hey, give me your palm husk.
Wait, what? Malik reaches out a palm and makes a gimme motion with his hand. Reluctantly, you hand over the burner palm husk that Tagora gave you back. Well, you think it's only been a couple days, but it feels like forever ago. Wait. So, wait, what? Malik reaches out. Select, wait, what?
Sorry,
Malik
not
reaches
trying
out a
to
palm
be
and
weird,
makes
just...
a gimme motion with his. Malik quickly pries the back of your palm husk off and squints at the insides, scrunching his face up. After a moment, he pulls a small device out of his pocket, selects a spot on the palm husk, and presses the device into place. There's a low buzzing noise and, does that mean it's working? Malik nods, and after a few seconds he snaps the backing back onto your palm husk and hands it to you again.
There! You're all set now.
All set with?
Well, okay, so I wasn't telling you the whole truth before. I didn't just run into you randomly. I've been tracking you.
Okay, not gonna lie, that's a little weird. How long was he doing that for? You know what, never mind. You're going to trust that he had a good reason. Malik nods solemnly.
It was way too easy to pick up your signal and track you. You've been all over the place, huh? Empire isn't gonna be happy that you're fucking this shit up, you know.
Malik looks thoughtful for a moment before his easy grin returns.
Anyway, let's head on back. I'm so happy you're back. I can't wait to tell the others what's going on.
Oh, yeah, the others. You hadn't thought about them much, to be honest. You wonder if they're going to be as enthusiastic to see you again as Malik apparently is.
They'll be so happy.
Malik crawls over the center console at the front of the van and sits in the driver's seat, starting the engine with a roar. Wait, didn't he have a driver before? You thought he had a lot more people helping him. Malik shrugs and shakes his head.
It's a long story. Not a whole lot of folks left doing what we do. I'll let Palipa explain it.
Oh. Palipa is with them too? You hadn't figured her as much of a rebel, more of a free agent.
Oh yeah, she is the best. Kind of our leader, I guess. We've been working against the Empire for almost a sweep now. Met them through the underground music scene, you know?
Yeah, you remember that. He was in Daria's band, right? Malik
Hell
nods
yeah!
from the front seat, keeping his eyes on the road. Neat. Malik lapses into a pleasant silence as he focuses on the road ahead. After a few minutes, he breaks the quiet again. Neat. Selected, neat. Malik lapses into a pleasant silence as he focuses on the road ahead. After a few minutes, he breaks the quiet again at Snake, neat. Select, neat. Malik lapses into a pleasant silence as he focuses on the road ahead. After a few minutes, he breaks the quiet again.
So, what are you doing back? I mean, I know a little from Tizius and Daria. Okay, maybe a lot. Okay, basically everything. I'm just trying to be friendly, sorry.
Well, you appreciate the effort. and it is good to see him again after so long. You missed him. You can practically see the blush on the side of his face, even from the back of the van.
Really? Well, I missed you too. It really is good to see you.
After another solid 20 minutes of driving in circles and doubling back to lose anyone who might be following the van, Malik finally pulls up in front of a massive building lined with dark windows. Where is this place? It looks like a giant office building.
Yeah, it is exactly that. Legis Lacerators in training used to use this place for a while, before the last of them got sent off-world. Now it is just a big empty place that no one wants to touch. All kind of stories about how haunted it is. I might have encouraged some of those rumors.
He smiles sheepishly and walks forward to hold the door for you. Walking into the lobby feels strange. You get a weird prickly feeling all up the back of your neck, as if the presence of all the people who aren't there anymore is weighing on you. You and Malik climb a set of stairs in the back, walking in silence until you finally reach one of the upper floors. The door looks locked, but Malik walks forward and works a hidden catch somewhere. You hear a loud click and Malik swings it open.
After you.
The floor of the office building is lined with weapons, piled haphazardly into stacks on the rotting carpet. Ahead, you can see the city glittering outside of the large windows, twinkling like a beacon in the alternean night. You're not gonna lie, when you thought rebel hideout you were definitely picturing something a little bit more, in the basement.
I guess we needed some place with a good network connection that was easy to get to. We don't exactly get to be picky these days.
He grins and pats you on the shoulder.
Plus, this is way nicer than a smelly sewer, right?
He has a point, actually. Now that the initial wonder of the place has begun to fade, you notice that two very familiar-looking people are talking in the corner in low voices. You, of course, instantly recognize your good friends Palapa and Tajiri.
The main character wears it for the second and third seasons, and it's a very rare collectible.
You found it in a goddamn dumpster.
That doesn't matter. It's basically new.
Yeah, sure.
As Palapa finishes her sentence, she looks up to see you standing there next to Malik. She steps forward, into the middle of the office floor, picking her way carefully around a pile of guns. And then she unloads on you.
You! What the fuck are you doing back here? You think you can just, what, just come walking back in?
Hi, Palapa. How's she doing today?
Don't fucking talk to me like nothing's changed. You were gone for so long. None of us knew how to reach you.
You can't tell if she's starting to cry or not. Her whole body is shaking as she points a finger out toward you like a particularly accusatory knife.
We needed your help. I needed your help, and you weren't there.
She doesn't say another word. The only sound that comes out of her mouth is a frustrated grunt, as she turns and walks out of the room. Well, that didn't go as expected. You turn to Tajiri, who regards you coolly. Hey. At least you and him are still good, right? Tajiri shrugs.
My Moirail is essentially correct. You were gone for an exceedingly long time. I can't say I blame her for her heated response.
Okay, but you have a reason for being gone for so long.
And what would that be?
Well, it's kind of a long story.
Spoken like someone with no true answer. I see.
Tajiri shakes his head, looking more disappointed than anything else.
I'm going to go talk to my Moirail now.
Maybe, put in a good word? Tajiri doesn't respond, simply shaking his head before turning and walking away.
Guess that didn't go quite like you expected it would. This is too bad.
Yeah, you aren't really sure what to do with this. On one hand, it really hurts to hear Palapa talking to you like that, but, on the other hand, she's kinda got a point. You did abandon her, and even if you couldn't make it back at first, you obviously can now. If only you'd been more on target coming back to Alternia, maybe things would have been smoother. At least you'd know where everyone was.
It happens. Sometimes you lose touch with people.
He shrugs and shakes his head.
Sucks globes. Anyway, you want to see my special room?
Wait, is this a euphemism for something? Is he hitting on you? Malik blushes.
No! It's just a place where I do all my work.
Well, okay. Since he's being so nice about it. Malik's special room turns out to be a back office of some kind that has been absolutely packed full of computer equipment. You can practically feel the electricity being used by this place. Monitors display schematics and lines of code, notes cover a nearby corkboard, and you swear you see several economy-size cases of grub juice on the floor.
This is where the magic happens. By which, I mean, this is where I do most of my work for the rebels. I'm not good with guns or anything, so this is what I can do.
He walks over and settles into what looks like the Alternian equivalent to a gamer chair and taps his keyboard, bringing the nearby monitor springing to life. Save slot, save, load, loads, load slot 3. Actually, you're good. You know what? Actually, you're gonna maybe take a rain check on this one. You missed Malik, and you'd love to catch up, but you feel like there's something else in the city you need to find first.
Oh, well, I guess that is okay. I mean, actually, it kinda sucks, but you do what you need to do. I won't judge you for that.
Malik looks positively crestfallen as he hops back into the van and slowly drives off down the street. And once again, you're alone in the city. You can hear the wind whipping up around you, and all of a sudden you're getting a really bad feeling about things. You don't know quite what it is, but something feels wrong.
Tell me,
Sun coming up.
did you ever find what you were looking for?
You blink, and you can feel it underneath everything, the sense of the world coming undone. Maybe not in the literal sense, but something's shifted, and it'll never be the same again. You've missed your opportunity, and you'll never get another one. The council will see you now. Try again. Go with. Save. Load. Loads. Loads. Load. Load slot. Is. So, Palapa seems kinda mad.
Oh, yeah, she is. Don't think I've seen her this pissed off in a long time.
That's less than encouraging. But you really didn't mean to leave for so long, it's just that things kept happening and you ran into so much weird shit you had to deal with. Malik nods quietly.
Oh, yeah, it's whatever. I wouldn't take it personally.
It's hard not to, you feel bad about leaving your numerous moirels behind for so long.
Have you considered maybe being a little more choosy with your quadrants? I mean, I'm not judging, but maybe. Wait for the right person, you know?
He grins at you and taps his nose with a wink.
Just a suggestion.
Has he heard any more from Theseus?
Course, she is hanging in there with her mate spread. Honestly, she is even more down with the revolution than she was before. That's saying a lot.
Yeah, you feel like you ended up lighting a fire under their collective asses for sure. Still saw learning about her ancestor probably didn't hurt on that front.
Oh yeah, I knew all about that.
Wait, what? And he didn't think to maybe mention this at some point. Malik shrugs, looking embarrassed.
She knew about it. She just didn't want to think about it. That's not something I could have helped her with. Sometimes you gotta get there on your own.
Is his Lucis still around?
Yeah, he is around somewhere. Probably hiding in the server closet where it's warm.
That's good. For some reason you keep getting the weird feeling that Lucii are just regularly killed by the Empire when trolls get to a certain age.
What the hell makes you think that? That is horrible.
Yeah, you're not sure either. I mean, all the genocide and eugenics and everything is one thing, but you draw the line at killing Lucii.
I mean, the genocide and eugenics is pretty bad, don't you think?
Wait, that came out wrong. Malik nods and squints at you. Okay, definitely time to change the subject abruptly. With a broad grin, Malik starts typing furiously on the keyboard.
Actually, we were in the middle of planning something before. I saw you were back on planet, so I figured I'd go check in on you. Just as friends, of course.
Sure. But what is it that they were planning, exactly? Malik pauses his typing and glances over at you with an eyebrow quirked.
I guess you're someone I can trust. It's hard to know sometimes, but yeah. I don't think you're someone the Empire is much a fan of.
Yeah, not really getting that sense in general. You might have bought yourself a little bit of time earlier with Galeka's help, but it's not like you've exactly been lying low.
Yeah, you really haven't. Okay, why don't you go way back outside? I need to do something really quick.
You walk back out into the large, open office floor and stand by the window, looking down at the shining city below. In spite of everything, Alternia really can be a beautiful place sometimes. It's hard not to think about all the lives that those lights represent, all the trolls who are struggling under the same empire.
Mesmerizing, isn't it?
You turn to see Tajiri standing there, looking at you evenly. Yeah, you say, it kind of is. You were just thinking about all the people living in the city.
Yeah, that's something I've been thinking about a lot too lately.
He doesn't bother to explain this further, instead, he walks up and stands next to you. You notice that he's got a rifle slung over his back. So, what's that about?
A master of the blade should never be without his blade.
Right, but that's not a blade, it's definitely a gun.
It's a metaphor!
Tajiri gets really quiet all of a sudden, pressing his hand up against the window and leaning forward. How's he been, anyway? It feels like it was just yesterday that you were hanging out and watching anime with him and Palapa. Tajiri grunts and shakes his head.
There's been a lot happening.
Oh. Like what?
I'd rather not talk about it, actually. You respect a man's rights to his secrets, right?
Oh, yeah, you guess so. It's just that you're really good at listening to people's problems. That's, like, your only actual skill. Tajiri doesn't respond, and there's something far off in his eyes that you can't quite place.
No, not right now anyway.
Okay, everything is all set on my end. You and Palipa ready to get geared up?
Tajiri shrugs and turns away from the window.
Of course, a true warrior is always ready.
Okay, so what was that all about? You know Tajiri's deal was always basically being a living anime stereotype, but it feels like there's something genuinely dark underneath it now.
That isn't something I think I can talk about. It isn't my place.
Cool, nothing ominous about that at all. So,
Weapons.
what is it that they're getting ready to do? Palapa walks in, and she looks different than before. For one thing, she's wearing body armor over her normal tank top, and she's holding a rifle that looks kind of like the one Tajiri had on his back. Weapons. What does she mean by that? Palapa rolls her eyes.
It means what you think. We need weapons, need ammo.
She looks at Malik in a way that feels very pointed, then looks directly at you.
Need a lot of things.
But, you gesture around at the floor, which appears to be literally covered with weapons and ammo. Palapa rolls her eyes and walks over to one of the crates, kicking it with the tip of her boot.
Because you don't know what you're looking at. Half of these are so rusted out they won't even fire. corroded ammo, dead rounds, worthless guns.
You think that she's made her point pretty well. Their rebellion is running on scraps at this point, down to whatever bits and pieces they can cobble together, steal.
Or buy off the black market. Are you getting it now? Of course you'd know this if you'd stuck around.
Look, real quick before things get too crazy, you really are sorry for disappearing the way you did. It was sort of your fault, but she's gotta believe that you didn't mean to just vanish for so long.
I don't gotta believe shit. You wanna apologize? Great. I don't have to accept it. Maybe you're different now. Maybe not. My Moirails don't abandon me. Don't leave me alone.
She frowns and glances away, in the direction that Tajiri left the room. The conversation, if you can even call it that, lapses into awkward silence for a few minutes. Eventually, Tajiri comes back. This time, he's wearing the same kind of body armor that Palapa has on, and he's holding his rifle. You meant to ask before, what happened to his sword? He seemed really attached to that thing and you haven't seen it at all. Tajiri fixes you with a cold stare.
I don't want to talk about that, okay? Remember what I said about secrets?
Palapa leans over and puts a hand on his shoulder. She doesn't say anything, but Tajiri nods quickly.
It's fine. Thanks.
He puts a hand over hers and nods again, his face set. For a second, you see something there that looks weirdly vulnerable. And then it's gone, replaced with the same set jaw as before.
Malik, are we ready to go?
You make the trip back down the stairs in an extremely awkward silence, with Palapa and Tajiri walking next to each other and purposefully ignoring you. It's a pretty cold comfort at this point though. In the van, you end up sitting in the back with Palapa and Tajiri. Definitely a situation which isn't even a little bit extremely awkward. So, what exactly are we going to do?
We are on an important job. You are an annoying parasite.
We're going to meet a supplier of ours. A black market contact.
Don't tell them that.
It's fine. What are they going to do? I know you're mad, but they're coming along. They at least deserve to know what foes they'll be facing.
From the front of the van, Malik clears his throat loudly.
Shouldn't be any foes at all. It's just a simple deal. Tetrarch set this up himself.
Wait. Tetrarch? Something about that feels so familiar.
Yeah, I'd like to know which character has the last name Tetrarch.
They're a bronze blood who helps us out. They're connected. Ex-Moirails with that one arena stickball player.
Oh yeah, from that other...
You know exactly who he means. Zephyros. And you know exactly what he's been up to lately.
Precisely. Although I fail to understand how those specifics matter.
Well, you talked to Zephyros and he was pretty broken up over the scandal he went through. You tried to help him through it. You think maybe he's planning to help Chixie with her protest music.
Yeah, a scandal because his ex-Moirail turned out to be a major rebel organizer.
Tajiri laughs and shrugs his shoulders.
Sometimes, the irony of life truly is inescapable.
Oh, stop it, Tajiri.
You swear you see a smile break on Palapa's face, even if it's only for a second.
Doesn't matter. Our contact's relationship drama isn't important. He's got guns.
Well, his connections have guns. This is the first time we're dealing with this supplier.
After the last one got raided.
Tajiri gets quiet again and looks down at his feet.
Legislators. Damn it all.
He doesn't explain this comment at all, but you're guessing that further prodding wouldn't be appreciated. After a little while longer, you feel the van start to slow down and pass over a series of speed bumps. Outside, you see the city fade into shadow as you pull into some kind of covered structure.
We're here.
Okay, Malik, you stay here. Tajiri and I will handle the actual deal.
And what about you?
I don't give two fucks what you do.
Oh, okay.
Just stay close to us if you're going to insist on tagging along. We know what we're doing. You don't.
You step out of the van and walk deeper into what looks like a dimly lit parking garage under a building. Nearby, Palapa and Tajiri are shifting their weapons nervously. About 30 yards down from the van, you're starting to feel very vulnerable.
I don't like this. I don't trust our contact, even if the Tetrarch did set things up.
Yeah, no fucking kidding.
Somewhere in the shadows of the garage, you hear the sound of an engine starting. A dark gray car rolls forward, with windows almost completely blacked out. The car stops a few yards away and the doors open to reveal a troll in a dark suit and sunglasses. Stylish, but also extremely suspicious.
You're the ones the Tetrarch said would be coming? Pali Bagosi and Tagiri Cowper?
Yeah, what fucking of it?
Do you have the armaments we're paying so handsomely for?
The troll smiles and stretches their neck slowly from side to side.
Oh yeah, I've got the armaments all right, as soon as the funds are transferred.
Palapa leans over and speaks into a microphone attached to her body armor.
Okay, Malik, wait 1 second. You, do you have the sample?
The troll shrugs and motions to someone in the car. Another troll steps out with a large, black rifle case. Walking forward, she sets it down on the floor of the parking structure and opens the case to reveal a long sniper rifle of some kind.
As promised, we've got 2 of these, fresh from the Fleet Security Force's armory.
That wasn't everything we agreed to, and you know it.
Of course. We've got 6 automatic rifles and 3,000 rounds of ammunition. Thing is, the price is gonna be a little bit more than we told the Tetrarch.
The troll shrugs and taps their hands absently. Palapa bristles.
Why? That wasn't what we discussed. Why are you changing things?
You know how it is. You run into complications.
Palipa, I don't like this. There's something wrong.
Something the matter?
We don't trust you.
Can't imagine why not. Don't trust your Tetrarch.
He's not our anything.
Touchy. Well, the price is double what we said before. Unless you want this to go to someone else. Someone less principled.
I'm telling you, this feels wrong.
You back away a little bit, no one really seems to be paying you much mind at all, and start to look around the parking structure. Hey, just a really quick thing, were there always a couple black vans parked near the entrance? You see Palapa's eyes goes wide.
Fucking bastard!
Without warning, she raises her rifle and fires in the direction of the sunglass-wearing troll. Everything happens at once.
Get your fucking head down!
Oh, sure, I should have done the other one. See what happens.
Palapa bends over and screams into the microphone on her body armor.
Malik, get ready to get us the fuck out!
You rush over to a low concrete barricade in the middle of the parking structure with bullets whizzing all around you. Down at the other end of the parking garage, you can see a group of trolls wearing red goggles and heavy body armor.
Fucking legislaturators!
You keep staring at the trolls down at the end of the parking garage until Tajiri grabs the back of your hoodie and pulls you down roughly. Good thing too, because a hail of bullets ripped through the space where your head just was.
Keep your fucking head down! You want to get shot?!
You very much do not.
Get shot.
Hang in there!
Leave them. We need to fall back, now!
The council will see you.
The council will try.
Try again.
Fucking bastard!
Without warning. Everything happens.
Get your fucking...
Palapa bends
Malik,
over
get
and
ready!
you rush over to a low concrete barricade in the middle of the park.
Fucking legislat...
You keep staring at the trolls down at the end of the parking garage.
Keep your fucking head...
You very much do not.
Any time would be fucking good!
2 of the legislaturators go down, welts of teal coming from their heads. You're sick to your stomach, you can smell the blood.
Hey, come on!
Tajiri reaches out and grabs you by the shoulder, you can see him shaking, but he's definitely holding it together better than you are right now.
We need to get to the van. Stay close.
You crouch down behind Tajiri, hoping that his body armor will at least provide a little bit of cover for you. The van is up ahead. You're surprised that none of the legislators are trying to fire on the van, but Palapa and Tajiri are a more immediate threat.
Malik, I hope you're ready to go.
You hit the side of the van and Tajiri lands heavily next to you, firing his rifle as he moves. You fall into the van as the sound of bullets hitting the metal sides rings out all around you. At least the van seems to be armored. That's...
Fucking drive!
Palapa slams the door shut behind her and throws herself low to the floor.
Keep your asses down. No idea how good the armor on this thing is.
With a sudden jolt, the van starts moving, the engine surging as Malik guns it toward the exit.
Hold on, this is it.
You brace yourself up against the side of the van. Palapa and Tajiri are both lying flat on their backs, holding their rifles close to their chests. So that's what you do. Right up until you head around a corner a bit too quickly, the van whips you sideways and your head collides with the...
I must say, I admire your persistence. I really do. That you continue to put yourself in these positions in spite of it having no tangible benefit whatsoever.
No. Shut up, shut up, shut up. How can he say that you're not making a difference when you obviously are?
Oh, keep telling yourself that. It makes it more true.
Are they alright? What is happening right now?
They hit their head. It'll be fine.
The world around you feels soft, fuzzy. Everything is fuzzy as you slowly regain consciousness. You notice that you're still in the van, but it seems to be moving a lot slower than before. Your head hurts.
You're fine.
She turns away from you and turns to Tajiri, who's sitting on the floor of the van visibly shaking.
Are you okay?
Her voice is so much softer when she speaks to him. Tajiri nods slowly.
I'll be okay.
None of the usual bluster he speaks with. You recognize the signs of shock from your own numerous experiences with it.
We're out now, right? They're gone?
Yeah, they're gone.
Tajiri nods quickly and looks over at you, his eyes dropping.
I'll be okay.
You notice that Palapa's reaching out and placing her fingers on his outstretched palm. Tajiri wraps his fingers around her hand and nods.
Thanks. I just need to regain my composure after that shameful display of our enemy's cowardice.
He smiles, it looks forced, but it's there, and Palapa nods.
Yeah. Hey, Malik, what the fuck happened back there?
Malik doesn't answer right away, and when he does you can hear the desperation in his voice.
I don't know. I'm trying to get in touch with Tetrarch now, but he isn't answering the fucking palm husk.
He set us up, didn't he?
No. I don't think so. He wouldn't do that to us. He is one of the most wanted criminals in the Empire.
So maybe he turned, got himself a sweet deal, sold us out.
You don't want to interrupt, but you kind of don't think that's how it works. It takes you a long time to get back to the abandoned office building, and you have a feeling that Malik is intentionally taking as many turns as possible to avoid surveillance. Finally, he pulls the van into a side alley that dips down into the space between the building and the one next to it, hiding anyone within from view. 1. So, that didn't go great. So, that didn't go great. 1. Selected.
Feeling a way about this whole chitter thing. I'm gonna bounce for a bit and see how I feel after I talk to some folk.
Selected. So, that didn't go great.
No fucking shit.
She turns to Malik and glares, staring directly at him.
This is your fault. You know that, right?
What are you talking about? What did I do?
You got so focused on the tiny details that you lost sight of the bigger picture.
When one focuses only on the forest, the trees tend to eat him alive.
Wait, no, that's not how that saying goes.
It is. On Alternia.
You should know better. We can't trust anyone outside of our circle.
She looks very specifically at you when she says it.
Can't trust anyone.
Without another word, Palapa turns and walks into a side door that leads into the office building. Tajiri glances at you, his face apologetic, before he turns to follow. Now it's just you and Malek, hanging out in an alleyway next to a bullet-dented van.
I don't understand how any of this happened. Everything he told us was always dead on.
You assume he's talking about the Tetrarch? Their contact? Malek nods, nervously tapping away at his palm husk.
Yes, he is someone with military contacts, I think.
A nervous shrug, and Malek keeps staring at the palm husk. You know Tetrarch is probably too many letters for a troll name, and figuring out who he really was wasn't too hard. Once it came out that he was tied to Zephyros, you could easily make the connection.
He tried to stay anonymous. Said it was for the best if we didn't know his real name. Probably shouldn't have used his real name for his fucking band. Damn it and the Grubbles. Fucking idiot.
Yeah, you think maybe that damn mech probably should have definitely not been so open about everything, given his involvement with the rebels. At least Zephyros was smart enough to go into hiding, sort of.
Yeah, Zeph got drunk one time and told us about his ex-Moirail, and it wasn't too hard for us to put things together. So if we could figure it out, I'm sure that the Legis Corpus could too. We've always tried to keep operational security, but...
But? Malek is staring down at his palm husk, his eyes unblinking.
Damn it. He's dead.
The palm husk slides out of Malek's hand and hits the pavement with a soft crunch. Alert.
Tetrarch.
Hey, is he gonna be okay? Alert. Malek shuffles over to the same doorway that Palapa and Tajiri went through a little while earlier. Alert.
Let's check this alert.
Malek shuffles.
Alert.
Selected.
Legislators have just eliminated the rebel leader known only as Tetrarch. All glory to her imperious condescension and the Legis Corps.
Malek shuffles over to the same doorway that selected. Malek shuffles over to the same doorway that Palapa and Tajiri went through a little while earlier.
Do whatever you want.
Malek fades into the shadows of the building and you stand there in the empty alleyway looking after him, wondering what the hell they're going to do now. Carefully, you pick the broken palm husk up from the ground and walk into the office building after Malek. One. As you're about to turn the corner into the main floor of the rebel hideout, you stop. You can hear voices from around the corner. 1.
I'm serious. I'm fine. A warrior never lets setbacks defeat him.
Tajiri. Select Tajiri. I'm serious. I'm fine. Selected Tajiri. Palapa laughs. She sounds so much more comfortable than she did around you.
Sure, as long as you're okay. Been a long fucking day.
It has indeed. But what about you?
What about me? I'm fine. You know I'm fine.
I don't mean about what just happened. I mean about you and your other, Moirail?
Ex-Moirail, more like. I don't want to talk about them. Fucking abandon us.
It seems to me that there's something else going on. Don't you think it was extremely strange that we could never find any trace of them for so long? That doesn't strike you as a little bit odd?
Save slot 5. Say, close Don't interrupt them. Okay, they're obviously talking about you, and you think that maybe it would be a good idea to just let them keep doing that. You lean up against the wall, tucked out of sight, and wait.
I think we've got enough for now, so till next time.